What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. If you've been following along, you know that I just started a series on overlanding and why I thought it was a scam. Well, in today's episode, we are going to talk about one of the biggest considerations that you need to consider if you're going to get into overlanding. Know what it is? It's right behind me, but stay tuned and we'll get into that right after this. Before we get into today's video, I'd like to ask you to just take a moment, hit that like and subscribe because it really helps me out. Now, back to the video. All right, guys, welcome back. So today we are going to talk about your sleeping arrangements for overlanding. That's right. Whenever you're considering getting into overlanding, you need to take some things into consideration, and those being, how am I going to get there? Where am I going to sleep? What am I going to eat? How long am I going to be? And how am I getting home? Really, it's just trip planning, but you're doing it in the outdoors. Overlanding, like we said, is more about the journey than it is the destination. And then today, I'm going to show you 3 sleeping arrangements that you can use if you want to get into overlanding. So let's take a look at number 1. All right, guys, so number 1, this is a basic cot and sleeping bag setup. The only thing really missing is a pillow. You don't really need a pillow because the sleeping bag and the cot will do just fine. This is a very basic setup. Couple advantages. Number 1, it's cheap. That is a Coleman cot, cost me about 50 bucks. That is an REI sleeping bag that is rated down to 20 degrees Fahrenheit. That cost me about 100 bucks. So for a little less than 150 bucks, you can sleep outside under the stars. The disadvantage, there's no rain cover here, but this is a good and easy way to get into overlanding that packs away neatly in the back of your Jeep, minivan, 4Runner, whatever vehicle that you're using to go overlanding in. Now, if you come over here, we'll show you the second arrangement that you can use for camping out. This is the REI Camp Dome Tent number 2. This is a 2-person nylon tent. This is really a backpacking tent. It was quick to set up, easy to carry. It all fit into a bag. I have the footprint here. This is basically just a tarp that goes underneath to keep it from getting wet. And then you see my sleeping bag on the inside there. This is how big it is. It'll fit 2 people. I just kind of threw it in there, but you can tell that you can definitely get 2 people. So the cost of this, I think I want to say I spent about $149 on the tent itself, $29 or $39 on the footprint. But again, that's just a basic tarp. And then you already know I spent about 100 bucks on the sleeping bag. If you wanted an air mattress, then you're going to have to spend some money on that. But again, not cheap, not expensive. For a little less than 300 bucks, you can carry this in a container inside your vehicle. You can always have it ready to go, and it'll keep you out of the elements for the most part. What I don't have set up is that rainfly, but it is available to set up, and it doesn't take much longer than what you saw in the time lapse there. The disadvantage of this is that you're on the ground, and you do kind of have to find a level spot, but it is a relatively cheap and easy option, something that you can carry with you whether you're backpacking, riding a 4-wheeler, or driving somewhere if you want to get into overlanding. And the third option, this is by far the most expensive option. This is the rooftop tent that mounts on the back of my Jeep Gladiator onto the Bedrack. This is the Walkabout 72 from 23-0. It is 72 inches long and about 5 feet wide. This is the most expensive option. Cost about $2,000 to get into, and this is a very outdated tent. A lot of the newer ones that are hard shell, very waterproof, that pop up real easy, they are a lot more expensive, almost twice as much. It's because you don't need this. It is very convenient. It is very nice because it is always mounted on my Jeep. I don't have to take it off. And as you can see, it is very spacious, it's very big. I can set up in there, I can have my power station, I can have a laptop computer, and I can watch movies or whatever, or I can do some video editing inside of the tent as I'm camping out here, or I can just go to sleep. It fits about 3 people, nice and cozy. It is very much waterproof, and you are very much off the ground. So you don't have to worry about critters getting up in there. Plus you also have this additional space here that if it is raining and you want to be outside, you can just kind of stand under here and you have a place that'll keep you generally out of the rain. I wouldn't necessarily worry about getting into this if you're just gonna do 1 or 2 overnighters a month. But if you're gonna do a week, then this is definitely worth the money. But again, like I said, it is very expensive and you probably do have to save up to get it. But it is definitely not necessary, so don't think that it's necessary. All right, guys, thanks for joining me today. That'll do it for today's episode, where we talked about your sleeping arrangements when you're going overlanding. As I hope I gave you a couple good options on things that you can incorporate or go out and purchase if you need to purchase anything. But if you're overlanding, I would totally suggest you go out and buy the cot or the tent, the ground tent, because they just make life a lot more enjoyable. If you have the money and you want to splurge, the rooftop tents are available. A lot of companies make them, and they are wonderful products. They are a pretty penny to get into. So anyway, I hope you liked it. If you did, hit that like and subscribe, because it really helps the channel out. And if you got anything left of your weekend, please get out and enjoy it, because it is beautiful here in central Missouri today and tomorrow. And we'll see you next time on Jack Monkey Overland Adventure.
I know you told your friend you're not okay, and tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt